Hey YouTube, New York Half-Ass Prepper here. Doing another video about this Pre Victory revolver. I believe that I have properly identified it as a Pre Victory as opposed to a fourth change 1905, and I'll go into that as I get into the video. But the restoration is complete. I refinished the revolver. I purchased typical smooth walnut Victory revolver grips, and I restored the lanyard loop to the bottom of the gun. I believe that this revolver was shipped with this finish. Even though it's a Pre-Victory, normally the Victory revolvers you see have a finish like this, which is called Carbonia or Black Magic, and then they had another earlier finish that was basically cold bluing. It was brushed on bluing, which was considered acceptable during the wartime, World War II. But most of them will look like this. People incorrectly call it parkerizing, but parkerizing is actually a proprietary name for a finish, and I think Smith Wesson called it Carbonia or Black Magic to be more correct. So anyway, back to this revolver. I purchased this. It was actually labeled a Victory revolver by an online dealer, and he was way out in Colorado or someplace out west. So it was all rusted up and no finish on it at all, so I refinished the gun. I know that's a no-no with the older revolvers, the older guns, but I want this revolver to last. I want to be able to pass it down to my son, so I just went ahead and refinished it. And I'm never ever going to sell it, so I'm not worried about ruining the collector value of it. But it's an interesting piece in the fact that there is no V in his serial number. This revolver has a V in the serial number, so it's very easily identified as a Victory revolver. This one does not. However, doing some research in the Smith Wesson book, and I have the World War II handgun book, the serial number is 940,008 something. So it's 900 and something thousand. They went up to 1 million before they started putting the V on them. So this is a very late production, fourth change 1905, but it has the military stampings on it. Over here it has the WB, which the Smith & Wesson book makes reference to. This one's stamped GHD, Guy Drury. I'm not sure, I got to look in the other book who WB was, but I think he was one of the wartime inspectors that was in the factory, worked for the Army, but in the factory and inspected and stamped all the guns that went for military service. It also has a bomb up here, the bomb cluster, and proof marks on the cylinder, and then it has another stamp here, which I don't know what it means. I have to do some further research. It does not say U.S. property on here, and that could be for a couple of reasons. A lot of civilians, when they bought these, didn't think that they should have U.S. property on their stuff, so they buffed these out. And even on this one, it's not buffed out, but it's very shallow engraving or stamping on the top strap here. So it could have worn off over the years, or being a Pre-Victory, most likely it never had it stamped on there in the first place. So I didn't see neither here nor there. But anyway, this is a good shooter. It's chambered in 38 special. You're not supposed to use plus P in these, but I'm probably sure it's strong enough for it. It's a Smith & Wesson. And it's a nice gun. It's fixed sights on it. They did make these fourth changes with target sights on it, but this one has the regular Smith & Wesson blade front sight, the regular serrated trigger, and the regular checkered hammer, which is kind of worn kind of smooth right now, so it's tough to grab that. But it's a cool piece, and I believe that I'm using the term correctly when I say Pre-Victory, because it has a commercial serial number, military markings, so it most likely saw service in the Army or elsewhere in the military during World War II. So that's it. The restoration is complete. I'm going to be looking for a period type holster for it pretty soon, just for shits and giggles. I do have one for this. I have the fabric British ones for this gun, because they're a dime a dozen. The original World War II ones for this are scarce and they're very expensive. So that's it. I'm basically doing this for one of my commenters. He's very, very knowledgeable about Smith & Wessons, especially the older stuff. And I promised him I would do a follow-up video on this gun. And so that's it. I'm out.